Hello, friends and fam. Welcome to another amazing episode of Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and podcast. If you are just joining us for the first time, I am your host and executive producer, Coach Kiva Lernice Murdoch. I am a certified life coach. I'm a teacher and facilitator. I am a three-time author, with one of those being my own visionary work. I'm also a best-selling author and the current reigning Mrs. Plus America 2023. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have been following our series, I've been featuring some amazing queens from the Miss Plus America pageant, which is the pageant that I represent this year. And we are actually on our final queen before nationals, which will take place next week, actually starting on Monday through August the 3rd. So I do not want to prolong our time. We have another beautiful, amazing young woman here today, Mrs. Rebecca Phillips. She is Texas Ultimate Woman Plus America 2024, which is a newer title that they have brought back this year. It was a previous title, but they have resurrected it and brought it back this year. So we're going to be talking about, of course, all things pageantry and whatever. She has a wonderful platform, so we're going to be diving into that so she can share whatever is pertaining that particular platform. And of course, we're going to end on a great note because you guys are going to learn how you can reach out to her and support her and love on her and all of that other amazing stuff. So without further ado, help me welcome to the stage Mrs. Rebecca Phillips, Miss Texas Ultimate Woman Plus America 2024. So welcome, Queen. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kiefer. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. That's a mouthful. Texas Ultimate
It
Woman Plus
is.
America
It just
24.
barely fits on my sash. Like there's so many characters, it just barely fits on my sash. But you know what? It's an honor to have this title. I absolutely love it.
Amazing. Well, first of all, tell our audience a little bit more about you, and then we're going to dive right into our pageant talk.
Sure. So, my name is Rebecca. I am from the great state of Texas, as Kiefer mentioned before. I am a technologist. I've been in the technology field for over 25 years now. My passion is to work with young women and girls in STEM to ignite their excitement and passion in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. This comes from a previous part of my life where I was told girls can't be engineers. So I sort of turned away from that field. And you know what? Life has a plan for you. And here I am 25 years later, still working in the engineering field.
I love it. And I am the first one that always say everything happens for a reason and a season.
Yes.
And you may not understand it in that particular moment, but God has a way of just turning everything around and making it all make sense later on.
Hmm.
So wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, you are a pageant queen. You've been in
Hmm.
the pageant career field, if you will, for quite some time. So let's talk about your journey into pageantry. How did you actually get started as a pageant girl or a pageant young woman?
So I've been in pageantry for about 3 years now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been at it for actually very long. So I did my first pageant when I was 50 years old. That was a challenge to myself, was to do a pageant when I was 50. And the reason I did that was because when I work with these young girls, I'm really asking them to step outside their comfort zone, right? I'm asking them to do stuff that isn't necessarily easy or kind of the safe route. And I wanted to show them that even their mentor is going to take a step way out of her comfort zone. Had you met me 5 years ago, you would have never believed that I was going to be a pageant girl. I was a tomboy. I barely wore makeup. I didn't know. Keeper, I probably had two dresses in my closet. And, pageantry definitely, changes you in great ways. And one of them has definitely brought out the girly side of me, and I absolutely love it.
I love it. And then I love more that you were willing to lead by example.
Mhm.
be
Yeah.
that representative that your girls needed to see. And sometimes we really need to be that for those in our most close knit circles. So, whew,
Yeah, I actually did an event last year at a local high school, and I was asked to speak at their career fair day. And the girls asked me all these questions, right? And it was co-ed classes, so the guys were asking me questions too. And afterwards, couple weeks, maybe a month later, I get these thank you notes from the teachers, and the kids had said, hey, thanks for coming, da da da, kind of typical things. But there was one that actually brought me to tears, and it was one girl who said, thank you so much for coming and letting us and talking about both pageantry and STEM, and letting us know that we can still be beautiful and be in technology. And like, here I get teary again. Like, I didn't realize why God put pageantry in my world. Like, I've been a mentor for over 20 years now. So that part of my life was set and ingrained. And now I understand that there is a marriage there of pageantry and STEM, and that's why I'm here. So yeah, it was, like you said, you don't always know why God puts these things in your path, and then suddenly you're like, oh, okay, I see it now.
now it makes sense.
Right.
Yes, I one of my prayers, Rebecca, is always that Lord, no matter what I go through, you turn it around and make it work for my good. And not only
Mhm.
for my good, so that you can get the glory out of it. And he will do just that if you just really trust him and allow him to just lead you and guide you,
Right.
and he would definitely do that. Like I tell my patients all the time, there is always a method to the madness. You just have to trust the process.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. So we talked about the ultimate woman title coming back. First,
Mhm.
for those that may be somewhat familiar with Miss Plus America, we haven't had the ultimate woman since what, 2023, 20, no, excuse me, 2003, 2003, or 2004, correct?
2004. 2004 was the last time we had this title. And so the title is for women that are 50 and up. Your marital status can be whatever. That's not part of this category's criterion. It 2004 was the last time we held it, and we brought it back this year in honor of Nanette Weeks, who we lovingly call as Mama Net, who is the godmother of MPA. And I have a even bigger blessing and a huge honor that the last woman that had the title of Texas Ultimate Woman was Mama Net.
Mhm.
So, I've definitely worn the crown on my heart this year, to make sure that I did her proud.
And I'm so excited, Rebecca, because of course we have 50 plus women participating in pretty much any division except for MISS and
Correct.
MS. But to have this opportunity with this particular category designated for
Mhm.
women over 50, I just feel like now we can really celebrate our queens in that age limit without them having to compete with the younger women.
Right.
So I'm really excited about, I'm looking forward to it. But not only that, as you stated earlier, to just pay homage to Mama Net. She was a
Mhm.
force to be reckoned with in
Oh
the
yeah.
pageant industry. She has such a strong legacy with MPA.
Mhm.
So it's truly an honor to be able to bring this title back in
Mhm.
her honor,
Yeah.
and just making it only for the 50 plus women. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to Houston next week. This is going to be a great, great pageant.
I think it's going to be an amazing year. I'm excited.
Yes. So, what would you say, Rebecca, is one of the misconceptions when it comes about pageantry? We've heard so many things and myths and just all kind of stuff concerning pageantry. But if you had to pick one, what would you say would be one of the biggest misconceptions out there about pageantry?
So I think the biggest misconception is that pageant girls aren't smart, right? we always hear, pageant girls, aren't the most intelligent. I mean, we still, even though in the pageant world we make fun of, Miss Congeniality and what's your favorite date, April 26th, right? That is not what pageantry is today. I can't speak to what it was in the past, but what I can tell you today is women in pageantry are some really smart cookies. Especially in MPA, 50% of your score is interview.
Okay.
And the guidance that we're given is it can be anything from reality TV to war. So, you got to be ready. Kiever, you remember last year, those questions on stage ranged from, current events to politics to, really controversial topics. And you have to be ready to speak eloquently on those. And, MPA queens can do that. And so I think that's the biggest misconception is, that queens aren't smart. One of my favorite examples is, I have my list of sort of drill questions that I work on. And what I love to do is I get my friends together and we do kind of a dinner. And I come with my drill questions and I open it up to them. And they're always shocked, like, they're going to ask you that question? And I'm like, absolutely, they're going to ask me that question.
Mhm.
And so that definitely changed their perception of it the first year. And so this year, when it came around, they're like, "What questions are there going to be this year?" So that's always a fun evening for me is to bring my friends in and have them help me drill some questions.
Yes, I love it. And you are absolutely correct. Miss Plus America system is definitely one of the top rated pageant systems out there for producing not only beautiful women, but
Hmm.
beautiful, intelligent, well rounded women. That is
Right.
one of our missions.
Hmm.
So yeah, I must agree with you 110%. It is not only a beauty pageant as it was in the 50s and 60s and 70s. It's a pageantry to um, really hone in on the whole woman.
Right. It's a
I
great way to
love.
say it. Hmm.
Mhm. So let's dive into your platform. You have a very powerful platform. I'm so excited, and it's one that I feel like we don't talk about enough. So tell us more about your platform.
Sure. So my platform's called Robots and Rhinestones, and we work with young girls and women in STEM to get them excited about just not only a career in STEM, but maybe just activities in STEM. You know, when I was young, I was told girls aren't engineers, and so I went on this mission later in life to make a path where no girl ever heard that again, right? I mean, that would be my wish that a girl would never hear, you can't be an engineer. So I do a variety of things. I've been a mentor for a robotics team for over 2 decades now. Absolutely love that. I am also the president of the board for a national nonprofit that works with women and girls in STEM called Chick Tech. And so that nonprofit's been around for a long time. And we do mentoring sessions, which include working on projects. So the girls get to pick what they want to do, and they have a technology mentor that works with them. On top of that, I do speaking engagements around Central Texas, talking to girls and teens and women who are thinking about entering the field of technology. So it is a wild ride, but I absolutely love it. There's a lot of misconceptions about women in STEM, and I'm trying very hard to break down those myths and pave that path for them.
I love it. Let me ask you this, Rebecca, for the regular person who may not have any experience in STEM,
Mhm.
however, they run across young women that may be interested, what are some practical things that we can do as lay persons um, that could help further their interests in STEM?
So I think one of the things is to understand what the girls are actually interested in. We had a big initiative in this country, like Girls in STEM, and it was really popular, 5, 10 years ago, and it got to the point that we actually were kind of over hyping it. I've heard from a lot of girls that it was like, I don't want anything to do with STEM because it's been shoved down my throat so much. I actually
Mhm.
had a little girl tell me that. And I was like, whoa, 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 that is not what we're trying to do. So I've kind of changed my approach over the last couple of years, and I sit down with do a lot more mentoring one on one and two on one. And I sit down with the girls and try to understand exactly what they're trying to do. And we find that girls are interested in certain aspects of technology, and there's a lot of resources online, right? We all live behind our screens nowadays. There's a lot of resources online to find mentoring, and really, what we need to do is connect those young girls with another woman, uh, or even a college girl, right? There's a lot of college girls that mentor today now too. Connect them with someone that they can look up to and help them guide them through that path. So as a layperson, I would say find those local resources in your area and help connect the girl. Don't just say, "Hey, why don't you go Google that?" Take it on yourself to help try to find them, those kind of resources. And if you can't find one, you can always reach out to me because I'll be more than happy to try to help you find something.
I love that. But you just said an interesting point because I do recall seeing quite quite a few advertisements about STEM, and there were a period of time where they were really, really pushing it either
Hmm.
on TV, social media, especially in the schools. They were really driving,
Hmm.
trying to get more females interested in STEM. But it's very interesting that it was having the opposite effect. I
Yep.
would have never thought that.
Well, we pushed it too much, right? We
Yeah.
didn't, and I think as kind of a society, we took this like you got to do it approach versus do you love it? Do you want to do it? Let's pave a path for you. And so that's why you see a little bit of the course correction now
Mhm.
that it's not everywhere, right? It's not on the sides of buses and billboards like
Right.
it was maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Let me ask you this. What field, from your experience, do you see women being a little bit more driven toward?
You know, that one's hard to say because I'm definitely, much more connected to the technology world. But we do see a lot of women that are interested in the sciences, right? And that's the S in STEM is science. And
Mhm.
we kind of lose sight of what science really means. Like when we say science, everybody goes straight to somebody in a lab coat with a lab, and they're, maybe creating the next new vaccine, right? Yes, that's a perfect example of science. But do we stop and think about nursing and, anything in the medical field as a science? We don't necessarily think of that in our brain, but you know what? 1000% that is science. And, I did a mentoring session about a month ago, and the majority of the girls in that room wanted to go into something in the medical field.
Mm. That's very interesting because you are absolutely correct. I am in the healthcare industry, but still did not associate what I do with the S in STEM. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
you're in science, girl.
And we have a lot of not only women nowadays, but male too, that have taken
Mhm.
an interest in the science industry, such as the nursing field.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. Is there a field in STEM, Rebecca, that we need to um, kind of encourage girls to look more closely into?
So I think it's the math. It's the M in math. And that is part of one of the big myths that's been around for decades. Girls don't like math. Girls aren't good at math. And that is so ingrained in our society that we just accept it, right? It's not even, it's unspoken, but it's just become such a ingrained thing. And the reality is, statistics show men and women are the exact same when it comes to math. Their aptitude and ability absolutely even. So really, that's where we need to do what we need to do is break down that myth that girls aren't good at math because that's just a big old lie, and help break that down because the more that we can get girls into math, then we've got them into science, statistics, economics. accounting, all of these kind of things. And that's all based on math.
Hmm. Yeah. And I feel like we have to start in the classrooms too.
Yes,
Have
absolutely.
have to. I love it. This has been very interesting. I believe you are the first STEM professional expert I have had on the show. So this has been quite interesting. Awesome,
Awesome.
awesome. Well, listen, we're not quite done yet. If you're just joining us, I have in my studio Mrs. Rebecca Phillips. She is Texas Ultimate Woman Plus America 2024. And if you're just joining us, we have been talking about everything between pageantry and STEM and a little bit of stuff in between. So we are not quite done with Miss Rebecca yet. Just don't go anywhere. We're going to play a very quick commercial. When we come back, she's going to let you know any events that she has coming up. On top of that, we're going to be talking a little bit about nationals that's coming up next week. So don't go anywhere, family. We're not quite done. We'll be right back. So stay tuned.
For the past year, I've had the honor of representing our community as your Mrs. Plus America. Together, we've inspired change, supported local charities, and brought hope to many. As my reign comes to an end, I'm seeking your support to continue this journey of making a difference. Your sponsorship will help me transition from my pageant role to new opportunities for community service. Join us in celebrating a year of accomplishments and in supporting the next chapter of community impact. With your help, we can make a lasting difference. Thank you for your support. Support the legacy, sponsor the future.
And welcome back to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. I am your host and executive producer, Coach Kiva Lernice Murdoch, the current reigning Mrs. Plus America 2023. As my commercial just stated, I will be crowning my successor coming up next week. Actually, going to be our finals is going to be on August the 3rd. So I'm so excited. This has been a great reign, a wonderful year, a busy year, an exciting year, all of that. So if you would like to help support me going back to Houston as Mrs. Plus America, hashtag road to signing off. You can definitely do that. My Cash App is Mrs. Plus America 2023. If you would like to do any other forms of sponsorship via PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, any of that, definitely reach out to me. You can follow me or message me on any social media at Kiva Lernice Murdahl. You can find that at Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, or you can email me at kivamurdahl@gmail.com. As always, I would greatly appreciate your support. And a formal thank you will be coming after nationals for all of my sponsors. I could not have made this year as nearly as successful as it was without your support. You've supported me through every aspect of this reign, and I'm just so grateful for you. So definitely stay tuned for a formal thank you coming after national. So thank you. So again, we have in our studio Mrs. Rebecca Phillips. She is the current reigning Texas Ultimate Woman Plus America 2024, and she is heading back to nationals next week as well. And I know you are so excited, Rebecca.
I am excited. I am very excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
What are you most excited? What are you looking forward to, first of all, going back to national? Because this will be your third appearance,
This will
correct?
be my third appearance at nationals. Yes.
Three
So
strong, right?
yeah, third time's a charm. That's fingers crossed.
Fingers
Uh,
crossed.
I'm looking forward to meeting the queens that I've already met online, right? There's several of them that I've only spoken to online. Yep, Team Texas. I'm excited to be there with the rest of my Team Texas girls. It's going to be amazing. There's a couple other queens that are coming back from last year, so I'm excited to see. Shout out to Jillian and Tessie. I'm so excited to see you two next week. And so it's the friendships, right?
Mhm.
Yes, we're there for a competition and all of that, but at the, on Sunday, we all go home and on Monday, I just want to make sure I've got, more friends than I did before I got there, and that's what I'm most excited about.
Yes, yes, definitely. And pageantry forms a sisterhood bond like no other. And unless you are in that particular realm amongst women like that, you
You
won't
don't
really
understand.
understand,
No,
right? So it is a bond that it just lasts a lifetime.
yes, for sure.
I love it. I love it. So for those who are wanting to support you or learn more about STEM, how can they reach out to you, Rebecca?
So you can reach out to me on the socials. My Instagram is, it's kind of crazy, but here we go. Follow with me, guys. It's REEBYS3. So Reeby's 3. Or you can follow my pageant page, which is, because my title is long, as we covered at the beginning, it is Texas underscore UW, Ultimate Woman underscore plus underscore America underscore 2024. None of that's easy, I understand, but you can find me, Facebook. It's Rebecca Phillips. You'll see my smiling face. But any of those, reach out and I'd be happy to chat with you. Just like we talked about before, if you've got a girl in your world that is interested in something STEM related and you're not quite sure where to start, I'd be more than happy to help you try to figure out where we can get started.
Hmm. Give me your social media handle one more time.
Instagram, it's REEBY3. Wait, REEBYS3. Reeby's 3. Yeah. I have to
Okay.
think about it.
And that
You see
was
me writing it?
well, I am going to put this up
Okay.
because I know you were spelling it, but it just seemed like a lot of letters, and I am a little bit slow today. This has been such a crazy day.
Mm,
I've been under the weather, so I want to make sure that we can all follow you. Okay, got it. All right, so let's put this in here so we can bring it up on the screen. Okay, all right, so this is her Instagram.
yep.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. And did you type perfect? Good. So I'm going to put this on screen as well, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to make sure that you guys have access to be able to follow her. And this is also Instagram, correct?
Correct. Both of these are Instagram.
Perfect. All right. And this is her Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, for Texas Ultimate Woman Plus America 2024. So definitely reach out to her. I'm sure that she would appreciate any type of sponsorship you guys are willing to do for her. There is no size that's too big or too small. Whatever
Exactly.
is on your heart to support her, definitely support her. As we know, pageantry can be quite expensive and it has a lot of different expenses associated with it, from garments to travel, food, all of that. So definitely,
Shoes.
yes, for sure. So definitely reach out to her, support her any way that you would like. If you would like to learn more about STEM, or if you have a young lady that you are wanting to gain a little bit more insight about STEM, definitely reach out to Rebecca. Rebecca is a wonderful source. She's been in the technology field, as she stated earlier, for over 20 years. So she come with a lot of experience and she's connected with a lot of people. So definitely use her as a resource. She can, if there are any questions that she can't answer, I'm sure she can connect you. So definitely reach out to her. Rebecca, it has been an honor having you here today. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Um, would would you have any final words? Is there anything else you would like to say before we end the show?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. This has been amazing. Thank you so much. And I just want to remind all of your viewers that they can actually watch the pageant next week, right? You can get tickets and you can watch online. So if you can't make it to Houston, that's okay. Head over to that Miss Plus America website and you can buy virtual tickets and you can watch. They'll be streaming things all week long. So that's a change from years past. You'll get to see optionals, prelims, and finals.
Yes, so definitely visit the website. The website is www.missplusamerica.com. Awesome. Well, as I stated earlier, it's been an honor having you. Thank you. You are no longer a
Thank you.
stranger. So anytime you have anything coming up, definitely reach out to Keeper's Place. We would love to be able to feature you and bring you back on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem. I want to also thank our queens who have been watching and chiming in. Thank you, ladies, so much. We have so many of them who has been engaging with us. Y'all know that I love you ladies to life. So thank you so much for just supporting Keeper's Place and just always being here and supporting our sister queens who's been sitting in our guest chair. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you all as well next week. So thank you. Ladies, we
Thank
will not have a show next week because, as I stated earlier, we will be in Houston, Texas next week. So definitely tune in. We will be replaying several shows from earlier in the season. We've had an amazing season so far, and we featured a lot of queens. So this is the opportunity for the next few weeks. Actually, you will be able to tune in and rewatch some of those amazing shows and catch up on any shows that you may have missed. Excuse me. So until next time, continue to share, connect, and glow because, as we know, building those network also builds your net worth. So until next time, peace and love, peace and blessings. See you later. Good night.
Bye.